Welcome to the program. This is November 26th, Thanksgiving Day. We're going to work on this airplane the whole weekend and see what we can get done. And you can stick with me throughout the weekend or check back or whatever. But this airplane somehow is going to get some trim on it. It's raining outside. I'm going to have to get it taped up. And then I have an airbrush. I take my little compressor and just step out the door and paint it through the raindrops. So I went to Lowe's yesterday and I bought some paper. When I was a kid, we used to just use newspaper. Morning, Greg. We used to just use newspaper, but it always left ink on the airplane. So quit doing that. Al Rabe uses tin foil. That's way too expensive. So we're going to use paper. I did a little bit of cleaning in my shop to try to organize so I could at least have a small work area to work on, because I'm going to have to pick a few stencils. I redid, however, the Dr. Pepper decals, and we made them the same size as the numbered decals because the original was just so big that it kind of looked funny. We'll change the camera view here. Let's see here. Hey, you're welcome, Fred. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody. We have audio? Yep. Okay. Are we clipping it all? Does it sound all right? Wish the heck I had a crew here to help me. So let's change views, camera views. And we'll put that one on. All right, we're on cam 2. Should I get 4 or 5 cameras if I had somebody to help me? So here we have the big one, and I just felt that was just way too much. Or I can go with the small one, and I think that's probably more appropriate. It is nice to have your own plotter that you can change your mind. However, this stuff don't come cheap. I suppose I could put a big one right in the center on the bottom and then do some weird stuff on the... Yeah, I might do that. We might go across the bottom like so and then do some patterns, because this is going to get patterns on it as well. So I need to pick out. Hey, thank you, Fred. That really helps, because I gotta tell you, Stunthangar videos is way down. So the super chats really help. And anyway, I have to pick out my numbers. I'm gonna do the minimum that I can get away with. These are 1-inch letters, because I really don't want to distract from the overall look of the airplane. I also cut out some shell stencils. I don't know whether I'm going to use those or not. And let's see here. Of course, I've got to do my wicks A Stunthangar is already on here in the 23 on the end, so we're okay with that. Let me pick these out real quick. Of course, nothing's real quick. What I want to do is I want to get all the stencils on it, tape it all up, and then tape the stencils between color changes, because I don't know. Next week I'd like to go over to John's and get a coat of clear on it so I can ink it up. I mean, we're still a month out on this airplane. If I was in St. Louis, it'd be 2 weeks, but I'm not, so it is what it is. I use the Dr. Pepper font for, to keep everything symmetrical, everything looking the same, like somebody had a purpose when they laid it out. I didn't use Bada Boom or Sans Gothic or anything like that. I just stuck with the same thing all the way through. Almost got it now. And I know these videos are rather boring, but this is just a little insight to what I do. I mean, today's a TV dinner Thanksgiving for me. After Jerry passed away, I only have one friend here in Dayton, and that's John. A lot of acquaintances, but okay, I got one picked out. Let me peel off the okay. Yes, you could use shelf paper, but it's not as good as this Oracle stencil paper. I have used shelf paper in the past. So here we got the stencil picked out. And I'm going to add the transfer tape. So, wonder how many of you guys are going to join in when I start making teeth. I'm going to do I need to do bottom set of dentures, so I'm going to do either a teeth repair on my bridge, or let me switch cameras so you can see, or I'm going to build a whole new set. I just haven't got around to getting the white, or the red acrylic. I have the articulating jaw and everything, so there we go. Transition. So what these are, see, these dentist guys are just modelers. What these are packages of teeth. And I probably have enough teeth to make, let's see, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 dentures here, and I have another drawer of teeth of different size, and the articulating. I mean, this is what modeling is about. I mean, to me, to create something. I tried to go on YouTube Modelers, which is a train outfit. Yeah, soft balsa. No, it's red acrylic. And I will show how I do that process. Let me turn this down a little bit. It's up in the air too much. There we go. Okay, so now the trick is, I wish I had a long cord. I wonder if I do. Need to pull the camera over, or maybe do it down there on the floor. I lost my spatula. I don't know what happened to it. It's probably in the car or somewhere, so I'm going to have to use just a credit card to put this tape down with. But this is low-tack transfer tape, and pretty straightforward operation. So the way that I do my stencils is probably a little different than the way a sign painter puts stencils on a sign, because I use the bounding boxes as a guide. And we'll show you what I mean here. So I get to see what it looks like before I finalize it. Okay, this is a stencil that's ready to go. So now we switch back to the other view. And I don't expect everybody to stay with me all day long or anything like that, and I'm not sure that I can do this all day long. It is so hard to talk with no one to talk to. You know, I think that the AMA regulation is 1 inch, and these don't look 1 inch to me. And with this heating age today, you got to make sure everything is in compliance. Let's see if it's 1 inch. It is not. What the heck happened? It's 3/4 of an inch. I don't want to get at the gnats and have a technicality thrown at me. Well, your letters are 1/4 inch too small. They're going to go on the flap, I guess. We might could put them right along the trailing edge. I just don't want to clutter this up with numbers and things that are not part of the paint design. So another trick maybe I could do is the Dr. Pepper can. I think we'll just leave that alone. The Dr. Pepper can has a big swoosh in it. I might could go path to shape or like that and put the Dr. Pepper or the my numbers in that swoosh, but that will take probably all day just to do that, so we're not going to work on that, I guess, today. To cut a path out of John on the camera so you can just talk to John. John is not here. I am by myself. What is the width of that Tucker fuse, and is that 60 powered? Yes, it is 60 powered. And the width of it is the same as this one. The overall width at the nose, two and 5/8. These are the same setups. But this is kind of difficult. I know what I want to do, but seems that I'm need to put a cutout of John on camera so you can just talk to John. Yeah, right. Well, John wouldn't be talking back then. That's the whole thing. You gotta have someone talking back to you. Anyway, so I think what I'm going to do here is, and I think that's a pretty good idea that we just come up with, is on the bottom of this airplane. Maybe I ought to start on the bottom. Instead of doing, well, because then it has to have a number on there. No, I can't do that because I got to have a racing number on the bottom on that wing. So that won't work. Damn. I think that I'm kind of ill-prepared for this live stream because I haven't thought it out. I got my 2 rolls of fine line tape somewhere. Yeah, here it is. My 2 rolls of fine line tape. This is $30 worth right here. Unbelievable. Yeah. Airplanes ain't cheap. Good ones. Anyway, what are we going to do? So, yeah, you could build an RC like this without a problem. I need to take those doors off. They need to be, they're slightly gray. See, Jim Lynch, gonna finish the bottom as good as the top. That's my buddy, Jim Lynch. And I gotta thank him for the support. So what are we gonna do here? Let's take the landing gear off. But I am going to get some trim colors on this today. Well, not today, but I'll get it taped today, and maybe tomorrow I'll get some trim colors on it. And unfortunately, I won't be able to show that because it'll be just outside the room here. Neighbors might complain that it stinks too much, so I can't do it inside. However, I'd like to. You know what I ought to do? I ought to cut some ovals for this. Damn! Both screws. Yeah, there they are. I got some paper coming up there, so I'll whip a little CA in there. Anyway, Okay. Let's cut off the paint off this so it looks finished. Very sleek. Well, come on, you guys, give me something to talk about. Questions and answers. I get a lot of RC guys that watch what I'm doing. I couldn't believe when I went to the Nats and went over to the RC field that a lot of guys knew who I was. These airplanes are exactly the same as RC, only we fly them with a bell crank instead of with a radio. Of course, today, so many people aren't even building their own airplanes. They just buy these foam toys, slap them together, go crash it, and say, well, I'm done. For the beginner and upcoming, there was, let me read you this quote from a guy on the forum. Let me get it up here. It says, this is a personal message to me. Read my messages. And I won't tell you who it's from. But here we go. Sparky, I'm new to control line and building, but love your build videos. I join the Hangouts when I can. I am a pilot and travel the world, so time zones can get tricky. Spent time in Nigeria and currently in Argentina. Being new to all this is a great service you provide to the newbies as well as the seasoned builder. With all the challenges with balsa availability nowadays, would love to see a live show about how to choose various grades of balsa for building. Example, C grains used for what specific areas of a build. May sound simplistic, but for new builders, it could save a lot of wasted balsa. I am sticking to profile builds at the moment, with the Magician being my starting place. I have never built the Midwest version, but finishing the Broduck one now. Keep up the good work, and I'll tell you and see your passion. I can tell and see your passion for this, and passing it along is wonderful. Well, I want to thank you for that vote of encouragement. I've done several balsa choosing videos. What I really need is I need somebody to go in and categorize my YouTube channel. There's a wealth of information in that YouTube channel, but it's kind of hard to pick out. It would be easy for me to do, Greg. An RC Tucker. It'd be real simple, because it's all the same. It's all the same numbers. This fuselage we could make 4 inches wide or whatever, and give it some more shape and some more roundness or whatever. It's not that difficult. The only reason we do it this way is weight, less mass. Whereas in RC, it's really not as big a problem, because you got a lot more room to make mistakes, and you don't really need the same performance that control line guys need. So to just get the look of an RC Tucker would be simple. All you have to do is go research Machi Costoli and build a scale one. Because if the scale airplane flew, an RC airplane would fly. So what I did there was I cleaned off the paint off the wires. I put it back together there. There is so much tinkering work to be done that in the next 4 days, because that's what I have, 4 days to do as I please, no work, a lot will get done. How fast it gets done, I don't know. I love going over to John's because I have somebody to feed off of. You know, I built for so many years by myself that it's kind of nifty to have somebody to help you. Or when John and I are working together, I'll need a third set of hands. I don't even have to ask, and he didn't have to ask. You just go over there and go, oh, that's right. But if you have somebody that's never done this before working with you, it can be kind of a disaster. Well, that looks better. I've scraped off the horns somewhat. Maybe I need a little more there. But we're going to get some taping going here, I think. But I don't know that I could do it on camera, because I need the computer to cut some different stencils. So what I might do, and this is probably what's going to happen, is I'll do this show for an hour today, and then I'll do some work by myself, getting the stencils on, and I'll probably come back when I tape scallops, because everybody's always interested in those scallops, my trademark scallops on the nose. And believe it or not, I paint those in one setting, red, white, and blue in one setting. There's no double tape or back mask, it's one setting. I've only done it 10,000 times. People say, well, you can't do that. Yeah, okay, whatever. Hey, like, subscribe, share. I see I got 7 likes. Got a super chat from RC Fred. And super chats always help. What you got to understand about YouTube is that the people the content creators made YouTube, but they don't want a content creator. They want to become a streaming service. So if your channel's not making them money, it could go away. We're flipping back and forth. I need an oval is what I need here. Yeah, I need an oval so I can... It's going to be hard. It's going to take quite a bit of thought to do this. I guess I could paint the cockpit while we're on camera. Because it's basically finished. We get some clear on it. I just won't glue the pilot in. This airplane came out with 0 orange peel. Laid down really nice. Shit, we just took 2 ounces off of it. I only have about 2 ounces tops to finish this thing in. And then, of course, there's those mystery ounces we talk about. Hopefully I don't get any, but they normally do come on. I have everything in this airplane. I'll turn it around and show you the inside of the tank compartment. Easier to move the airplane than it is the camera. Let me let's see, 8 likes, thank you. Share the videos. Where the heck did that go? I just had it. Here we go. One screw holding the cowl on. Yeah. Kind of glued on right now. So I need to pry that puppy open. That's outboard. This is not good. There we go. If you don't think dope is a glue, all you got to do is put a cowl on and see. So here we have the overflow tube. It hangs out the bottom. And one thing, I'm not sure whether I'm going to do it or not, but normally I do my nose in urethane, car paint, 2-part to protect it. And you want to really don't skimp on the urethane on the nose, inside and out. Now, this cowl didn't quite get painted as good. You could see where I put my thumbprint right there, but you can't see it from the outside. So Jim, don't count me down for having a thumbprint on the inside of my cowl. But because I'm so crazy, when I paint the red, this will probably get painted red inside here. So let's see, can you see the inside of that good? This I don't know. Are there any questions on the setup of that? Somehow I need another TV, another big monitor so I can see what I'm doing. I'm looking at the stream on a big TV, and I'm looking at the OBS software on a laptop, and it's all the way across the room, and my eyesight's not like it used to be, so I can't see it all that good. There it is. It's a pretty straightforward setup. One line goes out the bottom. When the cowl goes on, the cowl is held on with one pin right there and one screw. There's a hole in the nose ring. So when you're fueling the airplane up, you just leave this outside the cowl and let it puke on the ground. There we go. Puke out the ground, and then when you're done fueling, you just tuck it inside the airplane. And then pull it. That way there's no extra weight. of an extra piece of copper or brass or whatever. And the exit is just a bent piece of brass tubing with a washer soldered onto it, epoxied to the fuselage. Boy, I didn't realize the cameras get this hot. So it comes down here, and then this exits out, and what that is the pressure line. I run pressure. You don't have to. I like pressure, and it keeps the motor steady. And I've been doing it that way for over 30 years. And anybody that's ever heard my Super Tigers run can attest that they're the smoothest, steadiest running viewers that are, steadiest running engines that you'll ever hear. Just constant. They don't wind up in the wind because of the setup. And got to use Sig Champion fuel. That's 10%. 10% castor oil, 10% clots. Get over here behind the lights so the camera. There we go. 10% castor, 10% clots. And then you use the nitro to adjust your settings. So if it's a real cool day where you don't need a lot of power, run 5%. As the temperature starts coming up, take a gallon of 10 and a gallon of 5, mix them together, you got 7.5. So you run 7.5%. And then as the temperature during the summer comes up even more, you run the 10%. You know, guys run 15, 20% nitro. I personally have never seen a need for all that nitro. First, it's expensive. Second, it eats the nose off your airplane. And there's just really no need for it. I mean, if your airplane's light, you don't need a ton of horsepower. So let her rip tater chip. You don't need all that stuff. Kind of going over this thing to see where I need to address any boogers. You know, if I wanted a 20-pointer, that is a Super Tiger 60, Greg. If I wanted to make a 20-pointer, I would sand the whole airplane one more time and put another coat of paint on it. But man, that would add another 2 ounces. So it would be 4 ounces over my target weight. But that's what it needs, is another. The difference between a 19 and 20-point airplane is probably 2 coats of paint. And that 2 coats of paint is disaster. So we'll just have a nice clean. Way to go. Let's see here. So I got those cleaned off. I got the cowl undone, broke up. We're not ready to glue those on yet. Let's clean these off from the bottom. There is a lot of work to do yet. I really like Super Tigers, and I'm hoping that the Brian Gardner liner Super Tigers run as good as the stock ones. If they're the same port timing, they should. What is that? Ah, missed some paint scraping. Remember, everybody's looking at everything on your airplane, so try not to miss anywhere. At least everybody at doing appearance. Nice thing about the piano wires, you don't have to tape it off. You just paint over it and let it dry. Scrape it off with your thumbnail or a razor blade or whatever when you're done. No sense in carrying it around. You're gonna carry around paint that's not necessary. So we got the underside scraped on that. Could use a little touch up there. I think when I airbrush, I'll make sure to go over the whole airplane and get all the I don't want anybody to say, what are you gonna do about that? Finally found something on TV better than Macy's Parade. Happy Thanksgiving, Dan Winship. Hey Danny, how you doing? You know who I am, right? We used to fly together 30 years ago. Danny is a craftsman. He built the most beautiful bell cranks and control horns like jewelry you've ever seen. Let me scrape this last one off and I'll turn it back over and show you what it looks like, Dan. I can't believe Dan Winship joined in. Are you still taking pictures, or are you flying RC, or I don't think you're building control line anymore. And I haven't seen you in years. I think the last time hey, you're welcome, Dan. I think the last time Dan and I flew together was around 95 or 97, and the last time I saw him, you were at the Nets taking pictures. But if you want to see some of Dan's airplanes, go to winshipmodels.com. I think that's what it is, right, Dan? If it's still there. Super Craftsman. So we got some celebrities. We got Jim Lynch watching. We got Dan Winship. All I need now is get Billy back on. Okay. I still haven't fixed my little green spot yet, but I will. We'll get that today. This spot where I dropped it on the floor when it was wet. Finally retired. We'll be building control line planes again. All right, Dan. I'm sure John says hello. I don't know if you remember John or not, but he's my cohort flying buddy. Just to show Danny what it looks like with the pilot in there. I'm gonna try to do a bunch of stuff this weekend, but I need to in 14 minutes I'm gonna cut the program. I have to do some cutting on the plotter, and right now I'm running OBS and streaming. I cannot run cuts a lot and the plotter on the laptop all at the same time. So what'll happen is I'll probably take, it's 11, be about quarter after 11 when I'm done. I'll probably take a lunch break and cut up some stencils that I told you that I want to change, because I do not want to get cracked on, well, your letters are only 3/4, they're not 1 inch, so I got to do that, but we're getting there, and that's what is kind of the plan for this airplane. Let me back this up some. I guess I could turn this one from the... Yeah, I don't know whether it's up or not. I haven't... That's a tripod side, I think, or something to that effect. Let's see what that looks like. And we cut this one off. You know, if I did, I need to put that swap setup that I had on there. Let's see here. And so I have to move this so we don't see the stove. There we go. Well, let me know when it is, Dan. I'm not very far from there. I can be there in an hour or so. Indianapolis is a little farther. I can be to Muncie in an hour or so, but Indianapolis is probably an hour and a half. Let's transition to this, to that view. One of these days it would be nice to spend Saturday show and tell. Yeah, let me know. You got, I'm in the Pampa directory. I think my number is still up to date. Now that's a St. Louis number, but I'm working closer than St. Louis, so I can be there shortly. You guys that are retired, that's great for you. I will never be able to retire. It's just not going to happen. All right, let's see where we're at as far as time running. 50 minutes. As stated, in a few minutes here, I'm going to end the broadcast. I got to really think about this before I come on and lay this out, because I don't want to make any mistakes. I got to do the checkerboards on the tail. I've got to recut the 23 for here. Instead of making it real difficult, I might just put 23 on there instead of those circular objects. We'll just paint it on there and be done with it. Don't want to make it. Don't make it difficult. Yeah, you talk about. We used to go to Fort Benjamin Harris and fly. And Winpal was there, and Jack Sheeks. Let's see. Yeah, I can't even think of John Davis. I can't think of all the guys that used to go over there. There was a guy from, I think he passed away too. There was a guy from New Albany, Indiana. Of course, Byron Barker's from down there, but he was another guy I'm thinking of. He used to come and fly there at Fort Benjamin Harris. And we're talking a contest that was in the 90s, but it was actually like it was from the 60s because it was a AAA. This is before AMA had Muncie. This was a AAA contest. It had speed, combat, scale, stunt, I think racing too. And it was like a carnival atmosphere. It was just a huge gathering. Very similar to the 2004 Worlds when I went there. You know, that was in Muncie. And there was people from, I mean, the place was just packed to the hilt. It was unbelievable. And unless you've ever been to a modeling contest like that, you really haven't experienced anything. That's why you must go to Joan All. Because I've never, and Joan All is 10, 20, or 30 times bigger than the Worlds was, because I've never seen 30,000 modelers in one place at one time. But go to Joan All and you will. It's unbelievable. And they have grass circles that you can keep your airplane on the ground and fly around for laps and laps and laps. It's that smooth. It's like a putting green. You will never find another control line circle. The Indy Sportliners are still active, flying at Pioneer Park in Mooresville. I don't know where that is. I don't know where that is, Dan. Make sure, Dan, that you're subscribed and you ring the bell for notifications so you get notified when I come on. So you got to hit it twice. You got to subscribe, then hit the bell, and then choose all notifications. And then you'll be notified when I come online, because especially this weekend or for the next 4 days, I'll be doing, well, we're going to do at least 4 shows, but probably 8 to 10 shows. Depends how many times a day we're going to get a change on this. Because I don't want to stand and talk. I've talked now for an hour, haven't really got anything done. But I'm going to move ahead, maybe set up and do the touch-ups before I come back online. Because there is this spot right there I need to touch up. And there is these flaps spots that I need to touch up. They're already sanded. I just need to get out the airbrush and airbrush them. Not really worried about the blush on any of the colors today. If it blushes today, it's not a big deal because it's raining out or whatever. The only time you have to worry about blush is on the clear. And even then you can get it out if you got lots of elbow grease. It's just a pain in the rear. So on a real humid day with clear, you can run up to 10% retarder. Try not to, believe it or not, a snow day is better than a day that you're running the heat, because what happens is the paint will flash over and leave a scab, and it leaves all the moisture inside the paint. It's just about damn near impossible to buff out. But if you use little retarder, it allows the skin or the flash on top of the paint to let the moisture out. So you want it to dry slower when the moisture's up in the air. And I'm sure Dan will attest to that. But no more than 10% retarder, because it makes the paint gummy. The old trick that I use, and I haven't been using it lately because I just haven't been worried about it, is plasticizer. And this dope doesn't really seem like it needs it. Airgloss really needed it because it was a hard 5 minutes. Your plane looks great as usual. Thanks again for promoting the great hobby. No problem, Dan, and thank you very much for the compliment. So you're not very far from me. I'm just over the line in Ohio right now where I'm working. Need that bell crank mold so I can lay me up some bell cranks. Anyway, that's the thing on paint. So you're gonna that's the tip of the day. Don't use too much retarder, and if you do, don't have it in a warm spot so that the skin, it doesn't skin up and hold the moisture in. I'm real happy with this airplane. It's coming along nicely. I have to go back and check and see when I started, but I bet it's been almost a year, but it's been sitting because I built it 1 hour a day until it was done. So anyway, I'm going to cut the stream. Thanks for watching. Thanks for the super chats. Good to talk to you again, Dan. And maybe we'll get together soon. And happy Thanksgiving all. I'll be back after lunch, and after I get some stencils cut. I'm not quite sure exactly what I want to do on the layout. I still have to get these checkerboards cut out that go here, and I can't figure out how to do it in Inkscape. So if any of you guys want to give me a hand, send me a message on the forums. I need an SVG tapered checkerboard graphic to go right here, and I can't figure out how to get Inkscape to do it without a big pain in the rear. So I might have to do it the old-fashioned way with tape. I hate to think about that. But that's how we used to do it. Everything was taped. There was no stencils. I hand lettered some airplanes, like the Super Glide. It was done with my quills, one shot and quills. So anyway, we're coming up on an hour. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in a bit. Fair winds, tight lines. See ya.